coming out. It's genuinely lovely to be here, which is kind of ironic for me to say that because I'm working on a new theory at the moment, and I don't know how you'll react to this, but I am a firm believer now that I think that there are two types of people in this world, right? And if you want to know what type of person you are, it's irrelevant of gender, age, colour, creed, sexuality. Two types of people in this world. One type of person in this world, they'll set off a party popper and their first thought will be, woo, party time! However, there's a second type of person in this world, and you know who you are. Because when you set off a party popper, your first instinctive thought will be, someone's going to have to clear that up now. I am that second type of person. I hate that about myself. My partner, she's, mad, isn't it? I'm as surprised as all you, to be honest. So's my boyfriend. But she's a very positive person. She's always saying to me things like, Dave, life's all about the journey. That's what she says. It's all about the journey, Dave. Forget about the destination. Just focus on the journey. Which is how she lost her job as an ambulance driver. She was trying to get me to be a better person. That kind of annoys me. She always says to me, improvement starts with an I. That's just spelling. And I've also pointed out, improvement starts with an I. Yeah, but unhappiness starts with you. So... wouldn't tug on that thread. I think that is my problem, because I am worried. I'm trying to be a better person at the moment, and I think the problem is I think I'm too cynical. I think that is the issue. And if you are too cynical, I genuinely think it ruins things. I honestly believe that. For example, my partner, she loves Harry Potter. Absolutely loves it. However, I don't. I can't stand it. I'm sorry, I don't find it believable, right? I don't... It's not, I don't find it... Like, it's not even the spells, it's not the witchcraft, it's not the wizardry. I don't think it's believable. You expect me to believe that if you give a teenage boy in a boarding school an invisibility cloak, the first place he's going to go is the library. Are you shitting me? There is no way that Hagrid passed his CRB. I am sorry, but the beard alone is a red flag, right? And it's also like J.K. Rowling wrote that entire series of books, having never met a teenager in her life. Because how many times that series of books, movies and films do the teachers say, get your wand out, and none of the kids say, that's what she says. That is not a normal school! Jealous, man. I think she's positive because of what she does, because she's a doctor of psychology, so not a real doctor. I'm not having a go. I'm just saying I've never been on a plane where the pilot's gone, is there a doctor on board because we seriously need to talk about this man's relationship with his father, right? It's never happened, has it? And she was originally a child psychologist, but then she grew up. I think that deserves more. Thank you. But yeah, no, she was. And we met because a couple of years ago I did a show all about mental health. And I don't want to sound arrogant, but that show did get 5 stars. If you add them all up. Well, because it's true. Odd thing is, it got reviewed 7 times. So... doesn't make sense, does it? Very passionate about mental health. That's one of my things. I love mental health. I love talking about it because I think a lot of the time when you talk about mental health, it can make people uncomfortable. And in the UK, anything that we don't like, anything that makes us uncomfortable, we tend to sort of box it up and ship it off, which is how we created Australia. And I did a show, it was all about my own mental illness, and I did have a mental illness. I developed anorexia as a teenager. I had anorexia, and that's a huge problem. Anorexia has affected people like Kelly Clarkson, Lily Allen, Taylor Swift, Victoria Beckham. It's a huge issue. It's responsible for a lot of rubbish music. You're not all on board, are you? You know what I mean? Fucking strap in, right? Because genuinely, when I wrote that show, I said to my housemate, do you know any famous male anorexics? And he just looked at me and went, Gandhi? I was like, no! had it. And that's how me and Una met, because a couple of years ago I did a TED Talk, and then a publisher approached me and he said, look, there's a gap in the market for the first male book on anorexia, and I pointed out it's not a very big gap. And yeah, he didn't laugh, it got really fucking awkward. And I genuinely think comedy, when used sensitively, a good way of talking about difficult stuff, right? And because the book was about anorexia, I wanted to call it The Real Hunger Games, because I thought that was a good title! Wasn't allowed, apparently that infringes copyright, so I had to call it Weight Expectations. I think it's good. And that's how me and Una met, because she did her doctoral thesis in men with eating disorders, and she was presenting her research at a conference at Oxford University, where I was the keynote speaker. We met, and next year we're going to get married! Yeah, she doesn't know it yet. Not really a boyfriend, more of a case study. And kind of true. Because we talked about tying the knot, but I said that I don't want to get a vasectomy, and because we're getting on now, because I'm getting older, and I'm going to be 50. Yeah, in 18 years' time. So it's like time, I know, isn't it, really? But the problem is, all of our friends are having kids, right? And who doesn't want kids? We're not going to have kids. And that's kind of a problem, because I do kids shows as well. And I do. Whenever I do kids shows, I always like to get a kid on stage, they'll tell their jokes, everyone claps, oh, it's a beautiful thing. Now, not last Christmas, but the Christmas before, I was doing a show at Leicester Square Theatre, and I got this little girl on stage, 7 years old, she's called Matilda. And she started telling this joke. Now, if you know the punchline to this joke, please shout it out, right? Because the joke that she started telling was, why does Santa not have any children? Anybody know the punchline to that joke? Well done, my friend over there, who said it in the most bored way in the world. Not another shout at the punchline. Good guess. Anyone else? That's not what I was going for? Well done, my friend. Give that man a round of applause. Was it you? No, okay, but I genuinely don't care. The answer is, I was looking for, was Santa doesn't have any kids because he only comes once a year, and that's down the chimney, right? That's the... Don't shoot the messenger. I actually didn't realise there are actually two answers to that. And I found this out because I was doing a Zoom gig, right? And I said, does anyone know why Santa doesn't have any children? And some old dude, right, took himself off mute and he went, is it because he empties his sack at the bottom of children's beds? Right? I was like, oh! I said, look, this is the last PTA I'm ever doing. Now, I never heard that joke before, so I got this little girl on stage, and I was like, okay, Matilda, you're going to tell your joke? She was like, yeah. There's 250 people in the Leicester Square Theatre. It was a Christmas gig, and she stood there, and she took the microphone, and she just stood there, and she went, why does Santa not have any children? And then instantly, a voice from the back of the room, right, presumably her dad, just went, ran and swept her off stage. I didn't know what was going on. I just saw a 7-year-old ask a question and then get abducted, right? Kids were crying, screaming, someone smashed the glass. I had to say something. I said the first thing that came to my mind, which happened to be, kids, don't worry, Santa's not even real, so... Didn't save the gig. Guys, you've been lovely. You've got a great headline out of the day, Chawner. Thank you very much. Goodbye!